Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Today I'll show you how I sketch a scene from Filoli Gardens. This place holds a very special meaning for me. You know, I've lived in the Bay Area for 19 years now, and Filoli has been a constant source of joy and inspiration throughout that time. It's a place I return to again and again, no matter the season. In this particular sketch, I wanted to capture the light filtering through the Deodar tree, the way it dapples the daffodils below with sunshine. I remember bringing my son here when he was just a baby. He'd toddle along the garden paths, his little nose twitching as he smelled the fragrant flowers. He watched the pear and apple trees burst into bloom in the spring, and then later in the year saw them heavy with fruit in the fall. I noticed that Filoli even has a vegetable garden where kids can learn about where their food comes from. And for artists, well, it's just an endless source of inspiration. The gardens, the flowers, the architecture, it's all so breathtaking. So, if you're joining me to sketch, to find a moment of peace, or simply to relax and enjoy the beauty of Filoli, I hope this video brings you a touch of blossoming spring's magic. Please settle in, sip your favorite beverage, and watch the sketch unfold as we revisit one of my favorite, cherished places in the Bay Area. Okay, I'm ready to set up my table now. I've decided to use my everyday sketchbook and one of my very old palettes. It's been through a lot. Some of the pans are refilled with various colors from different brands, so please don't feel like you need to use specific brands. Use the colors you have and experiment with them. I've listed all the supplies I'm using today in the video description for anyone who wants to follow along closely. And if anything is unclear, or if you have any questions at all, please write them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer you. And now let's briefly look at our reference photo before we get started. As I start the sketch, you'll see moments of hesitation, reconsideration, and that's all completely normal. That's part of the process for so many of us. I really hope you are being kind to yourselves as you are learning to draw and paint. It can be tough when you are just starting out. But remember, with practice, a willingness to learn, and the ability to keep moving forward, you will develop your artistic abilities and find new ways to express yourselves. I've recently learned how focusing on the process rather than perfection can reduce anxiety and increase enjoyment in creative activities. So please embrace the journey and celebrate every step. You know, as I'm sketching this scene, I realize that drawing and painting feels like a form of meditation for me. I've never really mastered traditional meditation techniques, but I have spent years learning to draw and paint, and I'm still learning every day. These creative activities bring me so much positivity, a sense of accomplishment in creating something with my own hands, and the feeling of engagement as I analyze and interpret a scene that has captured my attention. I feel genuinely enlivened by these moments, and I sincerely hope that these activities can bring similar experiences to you. I also realize that the learning process isn't always linear. It's filled with frustrations and moments where you just want to give up. When I feel that way, I step away. I allow myself those moments to pass, trusting that sooner or later, my heart and mind will long for those creative moments again. And one day, I'll return with renewed energy and a fresh perspective that allows me to continue learning. And for those of you who are longing to do creative work but are facing life circumstances that make it difficult right now, I truly hope you'll find those moments of creativity when the chance arises. I know some of you are recovering from surgeries now, and some are dealing with health difficulties, and others are grieving the loss of loved ones. My thoughts are with you all. I sincerely hope that you find moments of comfort and healing, and that you'll soon feel ready to rediscover your creativity and maybe even join me for a paint along when you are ready. See, I began with applying the first wash, which will lay the foundation for our sketch. I then depicted the sky with a saturated color at the top, gradually diluting it as I moved towards the horizon to create a sense of depth. Then I used a cool blue-green mix to represent the distant hills, and I let that lively color and water flow downwards as I suggested elements like distant trees and the brick building with its brick fence. I'm using Venetian red here, which to me looks a lot like brown matter. As you can see, I use yellow ochre quite a bit. I love this color because it tames other colors, makes them feel more natural, and warms up the foreground as I move the color bead down. Notice also how I deliberately left a few white specks on the foreground. I'll use those later to depict the white daffodils that are blooming now near the entrance to Filoli Gardens. Okay, now that the paper is completely dry, we can start applying the second layer. It's important to let the previous layers dry fully to prevent lifting the color. I'll now focus on depicting the Deodar tree, adding shadows from the nearby trees, and vegetation using thicker mixes of color with greater consistency. You'll notice how I am creating greater value range by mixing darks and applying them to suggest shadows. This helps to create greater depth in the sketch. If you're interested in learning more about paint consistency, please check out my other videos in my Watercolor Stories playlist, where I describe this concept in more details. And if you are just starting out with watercolor, please feel free to check out my playlist Watercolor Basics, where I cover many fundamental concepts. And before I go any further, I would like to express how deeply grateful I am for all of you. The love and support I receive from this community is truly incredible. Each comment you write is like a little ray of sunshine that warms my heart and fuels my desire to create more art for you. Thank you so much for being such an inspiring and supportive presence in my life. As we continue painting this scene, I want to touch on something important. It's completely normal to have doubts and moments where art and creativity just don't seem to flow. We all experience that, myself included. As much as I love creating these videos for you, producing them so often can sometimes leave me feeling tired. And there are times when I find myself just unable to paint, and I know that feeling very well. So what do? Well, the most important thing I've learned is to be gentle with myself. I give myself permission to rest, to step away from the art table, and to recharge. And honestly, that rest is crucial. It's amazing how renewed energy and fresh ideas often emerge when you give yourself that space. I believe that taking breaks and engaging in restorative activities can significantly improve our creativity. In fact, my son's spring break is coming up soon, and I've decided to spend this precious time with him, enjoying his presence and making memories. I might share some highlights of our time together in the community post, so keep an eye out for that. And when we get back from spring break, I am really looking forward to sharing all the new ideas and inspiring scenes that I hope to gather during that time. As we come to the end of this session, I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you. Your support, your kind words, and your presence here mean so much to me. This community we've built together is truly special, and it's because of you that I feel inspired to keep creating. I hope today's lesson has not only encouraged you to pick up your art supplies, but also reminded you that creativity is an evolving path of discovery. It's okay to have doubts, it's okay to take breaks, and it's okay to simply pause and soak in the beauty around you. Every step, no matter how small, is part of your growth as an artist and as a person. And remember, art is all about the joy of creating and the way it connects us to ourselves and the world around us. So please be kind to yourselves, embrace the imperfections, and keep going. Your creativity is a gift and the world is better for it. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you leave this video feeling inspired and ready to explore your own creative path. And as always, I am so grateful for this wonderful community we share. Until next time, happy creating and taking good care of yourselves.